Hello, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the Disruptors stage. My name is Robert Grant, and I'm the Head of Customer Experience at Initor Global. So today I'll be talking to you about how UK accountants are using outsourcing to transform service delivery. A little bit about me by way of an introduction. I've worked in accounting practice for over 30 years, and I'm now helping Initor Global with their business growth and strategies for the future. And I finally got to call myself a disruptor, which is something I wasn't expecting to get out of today. I'm now working with Initor Global, as I said, to support UK accountants with their outsourced accounting services. Talking to our customers, it's clear that accountants across the UK are investing heavily in technology, but often overlook the vital role outsourced providers can play in delivering change. So I'll be covering a range of issues today, but my presentation will keep coming back to the simple message that accountants are often missing out on the wider benefits offered by outsourcing to transform service delivery. I'll also bring in some real-life examples from our clients about how we have helped accountants deliver better services, and of course I will have some key takeaways to help you in the future. So in a little more detail, I'm going to start off the presentation with a bit of context for today's session, where we are now with outsourcing. I'll then go into a bit more of a deep dive into the transformational approach to outsourcing, and that includes taking a more holistic, longer-term view of these services, how to engage stakeholders in a more effective way, how to transform practice management, and how outsourcing can provide that catalyst you need for growth, profitability, and of course, sustainability. I'll also look to the future about how outsourcing can help UK practices, and as promised, I will offer some key takeaways as well. So the context for today's presentation is change management or transformation. Talking to our clients, it's definitely on their priority list, as it will be for most accountants. So what does transformation or change management actually mean? It's investment in new ways of doing things, investment in new technologies and automation, and that continues apace. But options for service delivery are often overlooked. Accountants seem to be a little bit risk averse when it comes to looking at offshore service provision as part of their longer term plans. And of course, clients are often driving transformation and are at the centre of future planning. Client expectations are increasing, expectations around real-time reporting, better response times, and better turnaround times of work. These are all expectations of clients today. And of course, social media engagement, portability of client information present opportunities to shape future delivery around your clients. And of course, people remain at the centre of any transformation plan. There are expectations now among people for remote and hybrid working, career aspirations, career break aspirations as well, the risks associated with the hot recruitment market, but of course there is still the need for human contact, especially for more complex services that you guys will be providing. And regulation and compliance sits at the centre of everything we do. The regulatory environment is increasing, not least MTD for ITSA and the horizon, which will require new ways of delivering services for some accountants. And of course, there is more pressure from regulators to improve quality and compliance of accountants' work. So the aim today is to help you accountants deliver better services through outsourcing. So where are we now with outsourcing? Outsourcing tends to be recurring, compliance-based work completed offshore. It's usually confined to time-critical tasks, such as bookkeeping, year-end accounts preparation, tax returns, tax preparation, even payroll. It's also seen as a short-term solution to problems that an accountant may have. That may be time pressure, and the need to combat those, to address a backlog of work, a peak in workloads, or any capacity pressures you may be experiencing at key points in the year. And client communication is usually undertaken by the onshore accountants, and clients may not even know that their work is being completed offshore. There's also, in my experience, a pretty narrow approach to engaging and managing the outsourced relationship. Within a practice, that may be confined to one or two individuals. Almost certainly, these individuals would be accountants, and the impact on non-accountants is often overlooked. So the impact of an outsourced solution on sales professionals, systems engineers, systems analysts, and customer experience professionals can be overlooked. And also what we see is a lack of integration of the outsourced supplier into a practice business. There may be limited performance management reporting, lack of a quality review, little effort to integrate the outsourced supplier into a practice culture, and opportunities for learning both ways are often overlooked. And of course, investment in new ways of working can be variable. And by that I mean updating your systems and processes and ensuring that the organisational learning is achieved. So overall, what I'm seeing among some of our clients is a missed opportunity to transform service delivery at a time when investment is at its highest. So what would the transformational approach to outsourcing look like? I'll take a deep dive into each of these areas over the next 10 minutes or so. But the transformational approach means a more holistic, longer-term view. Outsourcing work doesn't need to be confined to recurring or transactional areas of work. There's scope to integrate the outsourced supplier into your future service delivery plans. And stakeholder engagement at both the internal level and the external level can be improved through the transformational approach. There needs to be better and fuller integration with practice management, and that means the performance management and reporting I was talking about, and the organisational, cultural and learning opportunities. It also provides the catalyst for growth and profitability that accountants are looking for, whether that be through increased client numbers, a wider scope of services being offered to clients, supporting the onboarding of clients, providing continuous feedback on the services a client might need, especially in the future, and leveraging additional services. And the transformational approach is also more forward-looking, so it can assist with the real-time reporting and future service needs of clients. It helps build capacity, and it helps build expertise across the practice. So the first area for a deep dive is around the more holistic, longer-term view. If you think about transforming client experience, the 5 bullet points there provide a fairly typical client journey for any practice. The initial contact with a client is usually through social media or websites or through referrals. The initial contact point is often a non-accountant. This could be a sales professional or a client services professional. The outsourced supplier can support these processes with real-time responses to queries about the services a client may require. The outsourced supplier can also help with qualifying leads and improving the quality of new prospects and pipelines that you want to bring in to your practice or business. There's also the onboarding aspect of the client relationship. Now, this is when resources are probably most scarce and where resources are most intensive. There's a pressure to make the best possible impact, first impression and contact with a client. There are essential tasks that need to be completed. This could be tasks such as registering information with HMRC, information with Companies House, and the onshore team can free up their time by outsourcing those tasks and better understand the needs of new clients. The outsourced supplier can also carry out those tasks such as sourcing prior year accounts from your clients, any outstanding bookkeeping, or even seek professional clearance letters from outgoing accountants. So expensive mistakes can be avoided where a client may be unsuitable or where expectations about services differ between the accountant and the client. So using the outsourced supplier as part of those onboarding arrangements can save you from some expensive mistakes. Then, of course, is the building relationships. That's the acid test for any client relationship, and the delivery of work effectively is essential to that. By encouraging your clients to accept different, more efficient ways of delivering work offshore, accountants will secure the maximum benefit from any investment in the transformational approach to outsourcing. And using an outsourced supplier to manage recurring communications can help ensure a consistent quality of response and improve the overall customer experience as well. And of course, client needs change over the life of any relationship. So receiving continuous feedback from your outsourced supplier on the services a client might need, such as tax or specialist advisory services, can really help you promote that client relationship. And it also helps you look forward and assist with the real-time needs of clients. And of course, there's disengagement. All relationships come to an end, and the outsourced supplier can help smooth that process by preparing disengagement letters, returning client records, and even responding to incoming professional clearance letter requests as well. So there's a lot the outsourced supplier can do to make that client experience the very best possible one your practice can provide. And then there's a transformation of service delivery. I've mentioned the shift from recurring transactional services to a more responsive offering. So the work the outsourced supplier carries out doesn't need to be confined to transactional areas such as bookkeeping or payroll. The outsourced supplier can help with your client's real-time reporting needs, can provide rapid feedback on changing needs, and also provide professional insights for every piece of work the supplier will complete for you. For smaller practices especially, this can widen the range of services that can be offered. And it's a fact that smaller practices often perceive barriers to engaging an outsourced partner. But investment in cloud accounting, the automation of tasks, means smaller practices can now introduce outsourced partners into their day-to-day operations with a minimum of disruption. So that playing field is levelled with larger competitors. It allows the smaller practices to increase their capacity at key times in the client relationship and also offer a wider range of services without taking on the additional risks and costs of direct employment. And I think it's also worth taking a moment to think about the opportunity to transform SaaS provision. You will all know that advances in cloud accounting software and the increase in entrance to the UK accounting market offering software as a service solution means many clients are now comfortable maintaining their own accounting records. They require the support of an accountant or a tax specialist only at key points in the accounting period. And of course that leads to significant peaks and often backlogs of work where a high number of clients may have the same year-end deadline or need personal tax services around HMRC's deadlines at the end of January. So the outsourced supplier can help those SaaS providers deliver those services in a smooth way. So you can outsource tasks like the preparation of year-end accounts, and you can create the additional capacity you need for more direct contact with your clients, which adds value to the client relationship throughout. So the right outsourced supplier can enhance all those client contacts through the provision of services which improve turnarounds and meet a more consistent quality of output. So transforming stakeholder engagement. When you're planning an outsourced solution, it's important to get the right people engaged to secure buy-in at the earliest possible stage. From the client perspective, the client is at the centre of most transformation plans, and understanding their needs is paramount. Most clients will be comfortable with an outsourced supplier preparing their accounts or tax returns, where that is complemented by improved communications and better outcomes in terms of quality and service delivery. And of course, there's the internal stakeholder perspective. The commissioning process works most effectively when stakeholders from across the practice are involved in the decision-making process. It's not just confined to the accountants in the decision-making process. So it's ensuring that all internal stakeholders are engaged from the outset, including non-accountants who may be involved in the working relationship. And that may include your sales professionals, your client service professionals, and your system engineers. The future relationship management, once you've decided on your outsourced supplier, you need to assign clear ownership for that. to maintain that relationship in the most effective way. Have two-way communication throughout that relationship. It may be an idea to assign that responsibility away from accountants to ensure objectivity in the way relationships are handled and performance management. And of course, I've mentioned throughout my presentation the impact on people of outsourcing services. Practice management needs to provide clear leadership on how the arrangements will support staff and nurture the desired culture for any practice. So that means you must take time with people affected most by the outsourcing arrangement to discuss the importance of transformation and the impacts on their day-to-day working lives. But transformation itself and the appointment of an outsourced supplier should be seen as investing in talent and the future careers of your people to combat workforce shortages and skill shortages as well. And this may include flexible working arrangements or even training accountants to handle multiple roles. So encouraging the open discussion of any perceived barriers or misconceptions about outsourcing work is absolutely important in terms of transforming stakeholder engagement. And I mentioned fleetingly the impact on organisational culture. What outsourcing will provide you with is a flexible option. That could be just an ad hoc hourly resource for work when you need it. It could be a full-time equivalent member of your team who participates in all your training and team updates. This will enable the effective integration of technology and service. But of course, it's important to recognise it will take time and initial investment to integrate the outsourced partner to a practice and achieve a successful transition. So being honest and open about those facts, really important in terms of making your practice management fit for purpose and ready for the appointment of an outsourced supplier. Performance management, you will require effective metrics to track progress. This may well be operationally in terms of improved turnaround times or at the customer level with improved satisfaction ratings. And all that has to be integrated with your existing management information, so integrating operational performance and client satisfaction, comparing your in-house performance with the outsourced supplier, setting up a range of qualitative KPIs, complementing your own QA processes will of course enhance them. And systems and processes will need to be updated through investment in agile workflows and improving workflows and maximising efficiencies through engagement with your outsourced suppliers. And that usually results in real-time information for your own management as well as your clients and customers. So transforming and transformation can provide that catalyst for growth, for profitability and sustainability that your practice desires. Now those objectives may be increases in client numbers, and that's where the outsourced supplier comes into their own, helping with those onboarding tasks that I mentioned and helping with the best possible first impression with your clients. Your growth objectives may be around a widening service offering, so offering more services like payroll or monthly bookkeeping. That could all help with the growth that your practice is planning. And it ensures a consistent mindset between your offshore supplier and your in-house provision as well. So everyone is focused on those common goals. In terms of profitability, there will be a reduction in your input costs. Typically, the cost of a UK resource is about double that of an outsourced supplier, so you'll have an immediate positive hit on your top line. You'll also have more efficient workflows as you transmit information to and from your outsourced supplier, and of course the opportunity to offer higher margin services using your accountants for those advisory and tax services that you maybe never got round to providing in the past. And of course, outsourcing can help with your client retention and sustaining those client numbers. It can help with improving your customer experience and improving better feedback from your customers in terms of those social media contacts I mentioned at the outset. Also helps with reduced churn and value added throughout the client relationship as well. Now, looking to the future, outsourced suppliers will be offering a wider range of services and support for accountants. It's not confined to those traditional areas that we discussed from the outset. So re-engineering those traditional ways of outsourcing won't deliver the transformation that your practice desires. The decision making on what to outsource and when needs to be data driven, including those qualitative indicators I talked about. So if you can see a dip in customer satisfaction, think about the ways an outsourced supplier can help get those numbers up in the way that your practice desires. And of course, with a more stable cost base and service delivery model, this means that your future revenue and profits can be more accurately predicted in the longer term. And it's also worth saying that outsourcing can support any agile business model and can complement the existing business models that you have. So some of the key takeaways from today's presentation: accountants have often struggled with transformation, but are investing heavily in digitization and technological change at a rapid pace. The next step is using that investment to transform service delivery and thinking about how the right outsource partner can help enhance those transformation arrangements and help deliver better outcomes for customers and, of course, service delivery. Accountants are adopting that more agile approach to transformation and can use outsourcing to support that business model. And throughout, effective stakeholder engagement and collaboration about the longer term benefits of outsourcing is essential to successful implementation. That's at the internal stakeholder level and also the external stakeholder level as well. And most importantly, your customers. So I'm going to close now with a thank you for listening. Those of you who have stayed throughout, thank you very much. Please come and visit us at stand 1265. You have some information from my colleagues about the services that Initor Global can offer, so feel free to contact me on email or hello@initorglobal.co.uk. Visit our website, you'll find lots of information that may help you, or you can call us or connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to take any questions. There is a microphone available. If anyone feels the burning urge to ask a question, I'll try and help. So I'll hand over to my colleague.